Welcome to another episode. If you're an IT SC and it's now time to file your returns, generally there is always a confusion in the recent times, I think in the last 3 or 4 years, whether to go for old regime. In case of old regime, yes, you have deductions allowed under 80C, then NPS investment, that is from your end, that is voluntary contribution to NPS, and then the saving bank interest. There are those deductions are allowed under the old regime, whereas the new regime you don't have those facilities available, but you have there is, even though the exemptions are not there, you have a better taxations which permits. I mean, the slab is much more increased as well. So, but then it's always a confusion which to go, and I can show you that which one to opt for based on your taxation. So you can always choose that regime, whether you want to go for a new tax or old tax regime and file your returns accordingly. Instead of naturally you got to go to a tax consultant. Instead of doing that, you can always do the same approach with the income tax site itself. They are provided with a calculator, so you can go to that website and and calculate whether you want to go for the old regime or opt for the new regime. So here I am in the income tax site. You don't even need to log in to perform this calculation. incometax.gov.in.iec.fo portal. So on the quick links, you find a taxation calculator. So there's a calculator as well. This will give you the approximation as well. So which one to choose? So go to the calculator, click on that calculator. So it will open up the income tax calculator. So once it opens up, you have a basic calculator, you have an advanced calculator, assessment, individual. This is a straightforward one. You have the total annual. This is a straightforward one. Only thing is here is that you need to know what is your total annual income. Total annual income. If you look at it, if you please enter after reducing the standard deduction of 50,000 from your salary. So the total annual income could be like it could be with your salary, with your business income, or your maybe if you're receiving dividends or even mutual fund sales. I mean, mutual fund sales, yeah, there are exemption limit is up to 1 lakh on capital gains. So those things are there. Let's not get into those confusion. But again, if it is salary income plus FDs, fixed deposits you have, and you deduct the standard deduction as applicable, and then enter it. So say for example, I'm just giving an example, 8 lakhs. 8 lakhs is my whatever the taxable salary after all the 50,000 standard deduction you have deducted. So here it provides what is your, as per the old tax regime, what is your taxes, and here it provides a new tax regime. So this is attractive if you don't have any deduction at all, meaning ATC you're ignoring, then NPS your contribution, if you that is ignoring, then if you have medical insurance, that you are ignoring. Now let me put, like, if I have under ATC I have about 1.5 lakhs I'm investing in, maybe with my employee provident fund, and then with my PPF, so LIC policy, tuition fees, so everything I add up and I have made up 1 lakh 50,000. So naturally you'll see here under the old tax regime is better here. And again, if it is another, so only that part, so that way you can go for the sorry, this again, it's new tax. You save 7,800 if you opt for the, because this is still new tax regime is giving you a better benefit. Now suppose instead of I have put on NPS also, so then it becomes 2 lakhs, right? Yeah, 2 lakhs. So that in that case it becomes old tax regime is better. Instead, earlier if you see, I have only 1 lakh 50,000, which is just ATC. It says new tax regime is better, but whereas with the NPS, if I had put, then the old tax regime is better. And suppose if I had put, say for example, I have put on the medical insurance as well, then it becomes 2,25,000 is. So in that case also you save taxes of 7,800 with the old tax regime. So now let me see what happens instead of the the 8 lakhs. If I make it as 9 lakhs, then it becomes, if my annual income is higher, then it becomes my new tax regime is better. And again, let's try to play around. Say, for example, with I think with if you include your parents' medical insurance, I think it's allowed. Higher rate of exemptions are allowed. So, in that case, if you look at it, 2 lakhs still comes close. It really comes close. So this way you can check for yourself depending upon your deductions what is the best approach to take, whether as you said, as I said, if it is 8 lakhs, something like 8 lakhs, it was different. Old tax, it goes to old tax regime is better, whereas it becomes 9 lakhs, it becomes new tax regime is better. So it gives you which one is better. And then yes, you can approach, you can calculate, you can go into the tax site itself and then give the details and see how the computation happens. So this is a basic calculator, and you have an advanced calculator also. This is also you need to provide, particularly if you have something on your capital gains, you have invested on your mutual funds, and you have some returns from the mutual funds, and if it is exempt, yes, it will not take that exemptions. So that way, capital gains you can check, and if you have any business or professional income, if you're working on part time, you're earning on freelance, and then you can put that. Yes, the ITR varies in that case. It will be in the ITR 3 form if you are in business profession. So ITR varies, but it's a good tool to check out. Put an information, put all the feed the information, and check what is your taxable income. You can use basic calculator or you can use the advanced calculator as well to check this. Instead of making your own calculation and missing something, or again going back to a tax consultant and he makes the calculation, instead, yes, you can very well use the income tax site to make these calculation initially and decide upon which one you want to file your returns with. So it's a useful tool which is there right in the income tax portal or website itself. Another one, I mean, for calculating your the taxable income is people tend to confuse with the HRA allowance, whether they really want to and they perform weird calculation. But earlier days, I mean, about 10 years before HRA, it was pretty much straightforward. But these days, there are you need to choose the minimum of one of them. So I'll show you. So what you do is on the Google website, HRA calculator income tax site, and then this one, ICC Prudential, you have a HRA calculator. You can choose any of them as well. So let me assume, as per the my, I mean, one's offer, if it is 7 lakhs 50,000 is the basic salary component, and there is most of the companies doesn't provide DNS allowance, so I make it zero. HRA, assuming it is allowed limit is 3 lakh 50,000, and total rent paid. Suppose I'm paying about 20,000 rent per month, then it becomes 2 lakh and 40,000. So people tend to confuse this total rent paid because my HRA is 3,50,000. So I'm paying only rent of 2,40,000. Can I deduct the entire amount? No, it doesn't work like that anymore. I mean, they have changed it more than 10 years back. That is where this calculator is needs to be used. And then if you calculate, it gives you. So amount exempted is only 1 lakh 65 is the exempted amount, even though you've been paying about 2 lakh 40,000. The exempted is only HRA is this much, and HRA chargeable to tax. That means whatever is your the net your salary. On that, you have to include this HRA part because you got to subtract and add that part also. Even though you are paying higher rent of 2,40,000, that is 20,000, still exemption allowed is only 1,65,000, and the balance to be paid taken to your taxable income is 1,85,000. And on top of it, ensure you to provide the right pan when you're climbing HRA. Be cautious and ensure to, particularly if you're from if you're filing taxes based on your salary, be careful to ensure to provide the right pan of the landlord. So there have been issues. So ensure to get the right pan of landlord because this gets reflected in their earnings as well. And then you have to provide that pan number as well while filing the returns. Otherwise, yes, you don't take HRA allowance as well. Total becomes taxable income. This is just a reference, particularly with the old regime, this is all allowed. So take a wise decision, make your own computations, have all your checks in place, and make the calculation computation, and then maybe you can discuss with your tax consultant as well, particularly which regime to choose. So that way, it will be much more informed decision to take. If you are taking the HRA route, ensure that you have the pan of the landlord reflecting in your the filings as well. So those things are important, but nevertheless, yes, it's important. Probably it might be important to discuss with the tax consultant as well. I hope you found this presentation useful. Thank you, and do subscribe to my channel.